Hey, I'm Canden, a tour guide with Free Tours by Foot and one of the team members behind Top Things to Do DC. And next to me is Albert. You can't see him yet, but I assure you, he's here. So tomorrow is Halloween, and we thought we should share with you one of our favorite ghost stories. We offer a tour called Ghost of Georgetown, and a lot of people take these ghost tours and they expect some exaggerations and some tall tales. And they often hear a story that we tell and think it's not true, because we say things like, oh, well, this happened to a friend of mine, or this happened to one of our tour guides. Yeah. So I am here to tell you that this story is true because it happened to me. If you have taken our Ghost of Georgetown tour, you've heard a story about Halcyon Hall, Albert Clemens, and a creepy thing that happened to a tour guide on a tour, and this is why I don't lead that tour anymore. So, a couple years ago, maybe like 5 or I was giving the tour to a bunch of 11-year-old boys. It was a birthday party private tour. And across the street from Halcyon Hall is where we stop, outside of these dry cleaners that are closed in the evening, underneath a lamp post. So the story of Albert Clemens, I'm not going to go into all the details because you need to take the tour. But one thing to note about Albert Clemens is he did not like electricity. So I'm standing there under the lamppost telling these 11-year-old boys the story. And the words out of my mouth are, he hates the electricity, it's the devil's work, and wants nothing to do with it. And as soon as I say that, the light in the lamppost goes out. Well, that was a really weird coincidence. Great timing for my tour. Had nothing to do with it, but I was very pleased. So we kind of shook off the eeriness of it and we started to walk across the street past Halcyon Hall. So the story is that, Albert Clemens isn't often seen, but there is a recorded instance of him being seen with a wide-brimmed hat. At the time, Halcyon Hall was either being prepped for sale or nobody lived there at the moment. We're walking by this pretty much abandoned house, and one of the boys points up to the top row of windows, and he asks me, what is that? And hanging from the top row of windows are 3 nooses. So that was creepy. And I have no idea why there would be nooses hanging from the window of a house that nobody lives in the middle of Georgetown. As we're trying to figure this out and looking at the nooses, I kid you not, in the window above them, a shadowy figure with a wide-brimmed hat. And for years I told this story, and what I said next is, I ran down the street screaming and never saw the 11-year-old boys again. Part of that's true. I did run down the street screaming. They were right behind me and in some cases had passed me. So that was weird, and I didn't want to lead the tour again because I was convinced Halcyon House was legit haunted. Fast forward about 2 years from then, I was forced to give this tour. We had a sick guide and somebody had a family emergency and we don't like to cancel. So I said, fine, I'll do it. And I start the tour telling people, I don't like this tour because there is an actual haunted house at the end. But I didn't tell them why. I didn't tell them what happened yet. I was going to save that for until we got there. But the very first stop, which is like 5 blocks away. Okay, y'all didn't see that, but the light went out. Which is like 5 blocks away. We're stopped across the street from Halcyon Hall. Okay, now another light went out. I wish there was like surround video. So this is Albert saying hi. You'll understand more in a minute. So we're in front of the Robert Todd Lincoln house, and I'm telling a story that has nothing to do with Albert Clemens, and the lamppost next to me keeps flickering on and off, and everyone is distracted, and they keep looking at it. And I can't focus because I am now convinced that Albert Clemens is stalking me, and he's playing with the electricity as I walk by. Well, we continue the tour, and we start walking our way over to Halcyon House. Okay, so there's Albert Clemens again. And I told you, he is following me around. All right, so I'm just gonna stand here in the dark to finish this. So I'm gonna wrap this up so I'm not standing outside in the dark the night before Halloween being stalked by a ghost who keeps turning off the lights around me. I have a light on my camera, so I really hope that stays on. I have a tendency to be giving tours in Georgetown or once on the National Mall, telling stories about Albert Clemens and how he follows me around and lights go on and off. And people never believe me, but it happens every single time. For the past 5 years, I don't think I have given a single talk about Albert Clemens where he doesn't show himself and turn the light off around me. So I'm gonna go before he turns off this light. Happy Halloween!